Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the 15th episode.
Lucky number 15.
You just have no enthusiasm about it anymore. You gotta keep it up, though. You gotta keep doing it.
I know. I've committed.
Yep, you've committed. You gotta keep doing it, man. Every episode. Think about that. Next year, 2018, me and Scott just talked about it. 2018, we're doing 2 videos a week. There will be 52 videos of Chit Chat next year. And there will be 52 videos of a new show we're doing. It's still the same YouTube channel, but it's going to be a different show that we're going to do.
And we're not at liberty to say what it is just yet.
No.
But keep your hopes up.
Yeah, we're going to draw you in with that. Maybe this episode can have clickbait. We're going to have clickbait. New show. What? Or we're quitting Chit Chat and making another one. What? I don't know, some clickbait shit like that.
Yeah, and then we'll get so much backlash.
Yeah, oh well. But yeah, we got a show that we're going to be doing next year. So we're going to do 2 videos a week. We're going to do Chit Chat on Friday still at 5 p.m. And we got another show that we're starting on that's going to be coming out on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, the same as Chit Chat every Friday, but this show is going to be coming out every Tuesday.
Yep.
At 5 a.m. instead of 5 p.m. So we got 12-hour intervals between 2 different separate days.
Yep.
Yep. Yeppers.
All right, what's today's... sorry.
Yeah,
continue.
But we're super excited to be doing it. But like I said, me and Scott were talking, and there's going to be a minimum of 104 videos of 2018 for the Grady and Scott show. A minimum of 104 videos.
Oh my God.
In 2018.
Dear Jesus,
are you excited?
Help me now.
Help him.
Pray for me. If you don't pray, do something.
Well, I'm excited. I'm honestly really excited because
I'm excited. I'm just tired right now.
Yeah, I know you're tired, but these are. I don't know. It's super fun. Me and Scott are most definitely doing what we love. This is super fun. And we love to be able to do it and actually see people enjoy it. And, whether you like it, whether you comment, whether you subscribe or not, whatever, the fact that you just watch it and enjoy it is all that really matters. And because we're having fun too. So, anyways, what were you about to say, Mr. Scott?
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. What were you about to say, seriously?
What is... Ding, ding, ding... the topic for today?
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Ding, ding, ding. The topic for today is tech.
Like what kind of tech?
Technology.
Like high tech, low tech, big tech, small tech, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. No, the technology itself, Apple or Mac, iPhone, Android.
Or the fact that back like 10 years ago we had block screens and now we have 4K HD curved thin something kind of TV screen.
We have up to 16K. I mean, 16K exists, but
like you need to see that. Like
yeah.
1080p is good enough for me. Anything higher than that.
No kidding.
But eventually, like 4K is gonna be really cheap.
Right now, for the live action stuff, if anybody's wondering, and if you all have seen any of the live action stuff that we do, where you see our
it's
face,
gonna run at 380p. That'd be awful.
I'm shooting all video with a Canon Rebel EOS, a Canon EOS Rebel T3i, which has a maximum of 1080. That's as high as it can go. It can shoot at 1080.
That's good enough.
Next year, by the end of...
I'm pretty sure YouTube lowers it, though.
No, it
or
doesn't.
if it's 4K, YouTube will lower it to 1080, something like that.
No, you can upload in 4K to YouTube. I've uploaded videos in 4K before. I've had a video in 4K, which is crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah. But next year, by the end of next year, I'm hoping to get a camera. And maybe some people have heard of it, but it's called, the camera company is called Red, and it's cinema cameras. And you can get, I think the Red helium, it's a sensor, the helium sensor, can shoot up to 8K, which is...
You know what we need to get?
High quality stuff. What do we need to get?
Some GoPros.
No.
Why not?
I already have a action camera. It's the Ion action camera.
Yeah, just get some GoPros and just wear them on our heads all the time.
Where am I?
Vlog that way.
First person view of Scott's day. Just wake up and brush your teeth, pee, do all.
Yeah, you see me in a mirror and I just got a GoPro on my head.
Yeah.
My hair's sticking up everywhere. hop in the shower.
Hop in the shower,
GoPro
everything.
and all.
God, I'll have to censor so much. That was a big dick joke for you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But no, I can blur stuff out. So if you decide to get naked in a video, I can censor it.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna do that just yet. Might need to work out first.
You just said just yet, so
Might need to work out first. Keep your hopes up, I guess. It may or may not happen.
2018 is gonna be a big year.
Another big dick joke.
Yeah. So
People are probably like,
they
guys are just so stupid.
They heard that and they've clicked off already. They're like, fuck this. God,
like, I don't want to hear about no dick.
I'm out of here. Good God.
If you're still here, thank you. I mean, you are a very lucky few to hear the rest of this video. Because I'm pro Apple products, and Julio over here, Grady Tester, isn't a big fan.
No, I'm not. What?
PC Master Race.
PC Master Race. Have you ever owned a Mac computer?
I have not personally, but both my sisters have. My mom has.
Okay.
So yes, I have been around Mac computers a lot.
Okay.
The only reason I didn't is because I just didn't have the money for them. They are pretty expensive, but they're nice computers. Like, they're really nice.
Yeah, their newer stuff is nice. But here, let me ask this: for their newer computers, plug in a USB to it. You can't. Put a SD card in it. You can't.
You can plug a USB in.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
You have to have an expansion cable just to do that.
No, you don't, because
Yes,
the
you do.
iPhone's a USB cable, dumbass. The iPhone has a USB and you can plug it straight into your computer.
I'm not talking about the iPhone. I'm talking about the Apple device, like a Mac.
Yes. How the hell do you get on iTunes?
I don't know.
You use the charging port that's a USB port. It's a USB type whatever the fuck Apple decided to come up with. And then you have a USB in. You can plug a USB into a Mac. That's how you connect to iTunes. Through your computer on your phone.
I'm looking this up right now because I don't believe it. I'm serious. Like, somebody somewhere was like, I seen a video of somebody talking about these Macs, and like none of them had a USB port. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, I enjoy Windows a lot more than I do Apple, just because of the user interface. It's just, I don't know, it's just better to me. But that's my opinion. Scott.
It's a USB Type-C port. It's a USB-C port. Is what it is.
Okay,
it's what
so
the Nintendo Switch uses.
Okay, so
Supposedly, it's what it says.
a C port is different than USB, which means you'd have to have an adapter cable to plug in a normal USB to it.
Well, at some point, we're going to be dropping USB. It's like...
I don't see that happening for the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah, people didn't see the floppy disks dropping as fast as it did either, but a CD come out and boom. Floppy disks disappear.
A CD and a floppy disk are the exact same
Do you
thing.
see
except
CDs
for
hardly anymore? Like DVD-ROMs? No, you see Blu-rays. And you know how instant that was?
Blu-ray is the same. Well, Blu-ray is the same thing. It's not the same thing as a DVD. No, I get that. A compact disc is something different than Blu-ray, but they're both the same concept.
Well,
it's just a
understand it.
higher quality. A floppy disk is the same thing as a CD, except a CD doesn't have the plastic casing around
You know
it.
they're coming up with some chip now or something?
It's a crystal disc. It's
Oh, you know how expensive that's going to be because they're using crystal? Really?
yeah, it's like a little crystal disc about the size of the end of your thumb. That
They just want me to lose more shit, don't they?
yeah, and
Like, they just know I'm going to misplace this shit.
they may implement it into like an external hard drive type thing you can get for external storage, but they said that they might start using it for internal storage in computers and phones and stuff. But it's literally a little crystal disc that fits on the end of your thumb, and it can hold up to 360 some terabytes of information.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
And the first computer was like the size of this house.
yeah, and it could barely
Now
hold
we have
any.
phones that are more powerful than the first computer.
Yeah. At the time, I think the computer, like the internal systems of a PlayStation 1 for its time, was said to be powerful enough to handle some of the stuff that happens at NASA. Like, think about that. Some of our gaming systems are crazy, you know?
Yeah, with the new Xboxes and PS4 something or PS5, whatever they decided to come up with.
And now, they're coming out with this hardware that's upgradable. So they put in this, they put in a graphics card in a PlayStation or an Xbox. And via a software update, it can update the graphics card now. They update the graphics card so it can handle next gen.
Not now. It will. This new one that's getting implemented.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know when PlayStation will come out with it, with their version, but the Xbox One Scorpio supposedly can.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Don't
Actually,
know.
It might be out at this point.
It might be. But
I don't remember when it comes out.
But yeah, anyways.
Or came out. I don't know.
I'm just more of a PC guy, anyways. The user interface is just more my style.
I started with an iPhone. I've always owned an iPhone, and the iPhone's dumbed down. I'm a little bit pissed off about the iPhone 7 though. Why in the hell did they take away a headphone jack? Like, why?
You had other phones that weren't.
All right, so basically, my phones were throughout my years. I had this stupid flip phone. That was a prepaid when I was a kid, and then it went up. I upgraded to a Samsung. I think it was a Samsung Alias.
Mm-hmm.
The flip up.
Yeah, the Alias. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
That's my favorite phone of all time. If I could have one of those now, I would, but I can't.
And then it broke, and then you got the NV2.
No.
You had the NV2, didn't you?
I never owned the NV2.
Oh.
Never had one. My mom let me borrow hers, and it was an NV2. It was an NV3.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't. After that one, I got an Alias 2.
Oh, okay.
And then after that one, I got that indestructible Boulder phone and broke it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was the one that was like the Envy.
Yeah, it was.
It flipped up to the side.
It was a military phone, wasn't it? It was.
I don't. They're just. You're supposed to be able to run them with a car, but I broke one in half. So, that being said, then I had the Nokia Lumia. No, I had an iPhone 4 after that, and then I got the Nokia Lumia Icon, and now I have an iPhone 6S. And this is probably the last iPhone I'll ever get.
Yeah.
Unless they decide to put the headphone jack back in, because I think it's dumber than hell that they took it out. That was so stupid on that. Why? I mean, I understand that Bluetooth's like more prominent now.
Yeah.
But why? I mean,
It's
come on.
It's always nice to have a backup.
Yeah. Shit can happen to technology.
Yeah, a majority of my things that I have are Bluetooth and Bluetooth enabled. But that doesn't mean I constantly use Bluetooth.
I never use Bluetooth.
I
even for my car, like my car's Bluetooth enabled, but I still use a cord.
Yeah. Well, in my car I use Bluetooth just because it's wireless. It's it's easier to do it that way for me. It's safer.
I just have a cord plugged in.
But for me, Bluetooth is just one of those things that it's nice to have, but it's not a necessity.
But you do realize at some point they're going to just...
I mean, we're 90's kids. We're used to walking halfway across the living room to plug in stuff just to be able to use it. You got to plug in a cable to do this. You got to plug in a cable to do that.
And then we had to plug in a disc. I still do that.
Yeah.
Like on my Xbox One, I don't pre-download games. I mean, I will if it's like the free game or something. But I'll go buy a game just so I can have the fact of plugging it in, putting it in.
And I remember my first game system being the Super Nintendo, the SNES, Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And fun fact, right now while we're recording, it's literally sitting right behind me with Mario loaded up because I've been playing all day. But I don't know, it's just...
What was my first game system?
Analog, man. Cables.
It may have been a Nintendo.
Yeah.
Just originally a Nintendo. I don't remember for sure. I remember we had some sort of Nintendo and my sister put a penny in it and it broke.
Please insert coin. Okay.
Pretty much.
But my first...
back when we were kids, like, you could get, like, the analog stick and the button, and it was, like, preloaded with, like, 30-something games, and I was like, whoa, from back in the day. Like, you could get, like, Pac-Man and shit.
Yeah, it was one of those, like...
Galaga.
Yeah, it was just...
And you just plugged in your TV?
Yeah.
That was a big thing when we were kids. I remember having
AV cables coming out of it, and a little power cable thing, and that's it.
I remember my first camera game system ever. It was just a little Lord of the Rings game, and it came with a little sword, and you would swing the sword, and it would strike on the screen, or if you held it up, it would read it, and it would block.
That's cool.
And that come out, I think, when Lord of the Rings: The Twin Towers came out. I think that came out. It was just a little TV game. I can't remember where it was, but it was like the most badass game when I was a kid. I played it all the time.
You remember those little games that they had in McDonald's Happy Meals? Like little
Fuck yeah.
like little handheld games. Those were the coolest thing ever. They had like tennis
You
and
remember
soccer
when
and
they
stuff.
had them like when Digimon was big and they
Oh
literally
my God, yes.
they literally sold the Digi communicators.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember that? I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember? I think it was called scanners. It was a monster thing.
I had one of
And
those,
you had-
yeah.
I'm
And
pretty
you would go
sure-
to the grocery store or wherever and scan barcodes,
Yeah.
and it would generate
a monster to fight, and if you beat them, you could keep that monster.
Yeah.
And then if you hooked it up to your buddies, you could fight.
Yep.
I remember that. I had a green one.
I had a green one too. It wasn't bright green. It was like a very dull camouflage green.
Yeah.
Is what it was, and it was.
I think.
Oh man.
Our neighbor at the time had a blue one.
Really? That's cool. I used to have one of those. I ain't thought about that thing.
I wonder
in
if they still sell
ages.
those.
You might be able to find one on eBay.
I'm gonna look on Amazon just to see.
But my second game system was a Game Boy Advance.
Would you
And
really consider that a system?
well, yeah. I mean, you put games in it and you played them, didn't you?
I never owned the actual Game Boy Advance. I had a Game Boy Color, and then I got a SP.
Yeah. The Game Boy Advance was really, I loved it. But, there's no backlight, so playing it at night, in the car on long drives was, people will know what I'm talking about when I say that. But I loved it.
They
absolutely
have
loved it.
an updated version.
Are you serious?
Yes, on Amazon.
What's it called?
Scanners UPC scanner game. Commander.
How much is it?
$65.
Good Lord. The original wasn't even that much whenever it first came out back in the day. It's like 20 or
I
30
thought it was called Scanners. I just couldn't remember exactly what it was.
Man, I ain't thought about that in ages. I'm serious. That's crazy. That brought back some nostalgia.
I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna go to eBay and see if we can find the ones that we have.
We gotta do that. Do you remember Tamagotchis?
I hated those stupid things. I thought that was
did.
like the dumbest thing on the
I
planet.
did too. I
But
hated
then
them.
Nintendogs came out, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get Nintendogs for my DS.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie.
That's
I never
cool.
did, but I wanted to.
That's cool. I don't know.
It was like the same thing though.
yeah, I mean,
Just
it was
3D.
Yeah. Tamagotchis were like, I don't know, they were annoying just because,
Oh
it was
shit.
just like buying a pet, you had to feed it and it'd make noise whenever you wouldn't feed it. It was,
All right, here's the one we had, but this is a red version.
How much is it on eBay?
$67.75. Brand new, never been opened.
That's awesome.
There's a $22 premium one.
That's cool.
Oh, here's the green one. Scanners, Radica, Barcode, Retro, Electric,
Let me see it.
Game Green.
Let me see it. I got to see this. This is. Oh my God! There
I honestly
it is.
can't believe I remembered the fact that it was called Scanners.
There it
that
is.
blows my mind.
Oh man, that brings back nostalgia.
I kind of want one just
Just to have
one.
it. Just
yeah,
to
I
have
don't even care if
it.
it works.
I might still have mine around here somewhere.
I lost mine in one of the moves.
Oh yeah.
It was made by Radica.
Do you remember these little things?
They had a Scanners Racer?
Did you remember these things back when we were younger? It was like a little music player, and you would get these little chips.
Oh, here's the new one.
It was like a little chip that you would put in the. Oh, the new ones are kind of rad. That's pretty cool. But it was these little music players, and you would get like these little keychain chips, and you'd plug them in, like you'd put it into this device and it would play the music. You know what I'm talking about? It was like little clear chips.
Yeah.
And it had like the name of the artist on it. And I remember having NSYNC, like a bunch of
I
NSYNC
remember.
ones, and those. That was.
I remember when there was some kind of show that come out on like a DS, and it was in a little. I know the PSP had like the PSP movies, but
Yeah. Are you talking about the Go video? The video Go?
shit, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck that was. Was that on the DS?
I have it. I literally have it upstairs. I'm
Really?
serious. I've got like Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob and
You
all
had,
sorts of
like 4 or 5 episodes on
yeah.
it.
And they had it
I
originally
remember
came
when those
out.
things were huge.
Yeah, I had one, and I mean, I still got it. It's underneath my bed. It was just one of those things that I took care of and I've kept. But
I can still play it. They play in the 3DS.
yeah, mine's black and white. And then they, like, many years later, they came up with the color.
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
Video
yeah.
Go Color.
I remember that shit.
Yeah.
God, man. I can't remember. I remember I was at a retreat with the church when I was younger. And everybody had these Digimon things. And I remember back in the day when Game Boy Color was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to sit next to a friggin' lot just to see the damn screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come out with those lights for them
Yeah.
that plugged in the top, and you're like, what the fuck?
Well, that was the thing with the Game Boys. That's what I loved about the Game Boys because
Oh, but everybody played one, too.
everybody played them. And then for mine, the Game Boy Advance, it wasn't a light. It was a screen. It was a second screen you
Oh,
clipped
yeah, I remember
on.
that.
You clipped on over top of it, and you
I actually
and it
remember
was
yours.
And it was a LED that like shined down through that screen and illuminated it. And I remember like playing Pokemon and stuff. And if you had another friend that played Pokemon and he wanted to trade Pokemon, you'd plug in a cable from yours to theirs.
Yeah.
And it would say a cable is detected. Would you like to trade Pokemon? And that's how it was. And you had to go to a computer in the game to do it.
Yeah.
Remember
yeah.
in Pokemon you had to go to the computer and then go to sharing it. Oh
Dude,
man.
I remember I'd love to have a Game Boy Advance SP. I want one again. I had a red one. I used it, and I remember that was like the greatest thing because it was the first Game Boy that had a backlight.
Me and you need to go to the flea market in Asheville because there's a lot of people that just, flea markets have everything, but I know the one in Asheville specifically, there's people that like sell video games, game consoles, all sorts of stuff, and I'm pretty dang sure we can go and find Game Boys and a Game Boy SP and everything for a pretty good price.
I know where I can find one for a decent price. It's in Johnson City.
Oh, yeah?
I don't remember what the game was called. What? I know where it's at. It's over there next to Target.
Is it Blue something or 2K Games or?
It's something like that. It ain't 2K Games. That's a company.
Yeah. No. I know what you're talking about though. I've been there. It's
like the door doesn't even look like it should be a door to that. It looks like some church door, like some old ass church door. It's like what?
Yeah, I think we went there before together.
I don't know if we did or not. I just know I went there once or twice. I like it in there.
I think we went in there. We found
you
a
can
bunch
find
of
a
cool
decent
stuff.
price. You might be able to find one to play more games. You might. I don't know.
Maybe.
I know you can find the games, but I don't know if you.
Yeah, I mean, any GameStop in America, you can go in and get everything now. You can get cameras, iPhones, phones.
But you can't get those old games.
No, you can't. I would love to have a Game Boy Advance again.
Well, I'd love to have scanners just for the fuck of it. Because I remember when I thought I was the most badass.
Yeah.
I thought I was the most badass motherfucker because I watched Digimon. It reminded me of the, what is it? The Digivice.
Yeah. I really want to get one before I go to Nashville because that long ride there, forget that.
Oh, just get in the handheld. I have a 3DS XL I use.
You gave me your old DS.
That silver one?
No, the red one.
Never had a red one.
Yeah.
Oh, the DS Lite that I got
the DS
from
Lite,
our neighbor.
It's what's crazy? You gave me that way back
Red
in
and
like
black?
yeah, you gave me that like way back in when? Like
Your guess is as good as mine.
like 2008 probably 2009.
When I got the 3DS, probably.
Yeah, like
whenever 3DS come out, I got a 3DS brand new when it come out.
And up until just about maybe 1 or 2 years ago, the battery was still good on it. Like it still had full battery charge. And then one day I tried to turn it on, and it just decided not to come on.
You don't have a charger for it?
No.
You can find one.
You didn't give me a charger for it. I mean, I don't need it now because
Why not?
the screen's screwed up on it. It's got that little black mark up there. It looked like you tried to mark on it with Sharpie.
No, I think that's my sister.
Oh.
I think I made him mad.
Oh.
But no,
you make
remember
your
my
sister
original DS?
You make your sister mad and she draws on your DS.
When we were kids, yeah. You remember my original DS?
Yeah.
That big blocky silver son of a bitch to come out? Dude, I wish I still had one of those. Because they reminded me, there was a show. I don't remember what the show was, but they had these things that they'd flip up, and it looked exactly like that. I cannot remember for the life of me what that show was. And they were, like, basically Nintendo modeled it after that. And I can't not fucking remember what it was. And I thought it was the most badass motherfucker.
It wasn't the
when I had that shit.
Pokedex, was it?
I don't think so.
Because I remember the Pokedex flipped up, didn't it?
No, it flipped to the side.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
uh,
Kind of like my phone case.
sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
The original one was just the bottom part of it. I used to have
Yeah.
Pokédex back when I was a kid. What the fuck was that? I don't even remember. I have no idea. I
don't
could not
know.
tell you for the life of me. But I miss all that shit. I miss that old stuff. I like the fact, like people nowadays, like that were born. See, now people were born in 2000 that are in high school now.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I work with people that were born in 2000. They don't even understand what we went through.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like when I was younger, which, like, you got to think, like, the older people, like people in their 30s and 40s, are like, yeah, them kids don't know what we went through. We didn't know what technology was. We went outside. Well, you know what? I went outside too.
Yeah. I mean, it's
But the scanning.
we're millennials, and you constantly hear all the time from baby boomers. You know, we didn't have this when we were your age. We did this and we did that. Why, it's fantastic. That's what you did in your time. Times change. Now we do this. You know, that's not an excuse to, millennials are so entitled and yada yada. Well, probably because when we were growing up, me and you are rare because our parents told us no when we were young, didn't they? Your mom told you no.
I got backhanded and everything.
Yeah, same here. I was told no. I got whippings whenever I misbehaved. But we were always told when we grew up, when we were growing up back then, back in the 90s, early 2000s, we were told we're going to have a terrific world to live in. You're going to be able to get the things that you want because, you're going to be able to do that. The world's going to be a great place. And then the world went to shit. So that's not our fault. We grew up being told, yeah, you can do this, or yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. And all of a sudden, here we are adults, and no, you can't do that because it's impossible now.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now,
Which back then they also thought cars were going to fly, and
yeah, of
we
course,
see how far we got there.
But like this bothers me too because it's fantastic that people are able to get really good jobs. You got a fantastic job. You get paid decent money. You're able to keep up with rent. You got a car payment. You pay all that off. You're never behind on anything, and you have money in the bank. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
If you live in America and you have no debts and you have $10 in your pocket, you're richer than 80% of Americans, or 90%, something like that. It's a crazy percentage. I can't remember exactly. That's sad. But for me, for instance, I have a college degree. I would like to get a job. I would like to, But the job I would like doing, I like marketing. I like accounting, things like that, which, is weird to hear people say. But I like math. I do. If I wanted to go out and get a job like that, I would have to have 2 years of experience to be able to do that. I'd have to have 2 years of experience in that field in order to get a job to do that job. So how am I supposed to get a job doing that if I can't even get a job to do it to begin with?
Yeah, and I didn't go to college.
Huh?
And I didn't go to college.
Yeah, and like you didn't go to college, but you got an amazing job.
I do that trade.
Yeah. So
Hey, what I do is a dying business.
it is, and it's.
But that being said, I will still always have a job because somebody is always going to want a human to cut their meat.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how it works. I'm a butcher, and it's.
You don't want. I'm the same way. There's just something about getting processed meat that's just weird.
Yeah, like imagine you had an option. Same company, same store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're just at a grocery store, you're chilling. One option is you got a machine, cuts it faster.
Mm-hmm.
Cuts it faster, looks fine, blah, blah, blah. And you got next to them a few guys working as meat cutters.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be a 50-50 ratio.
Yeah.
You'll have the people that are in a hurry go to the machine probably.
And of course you have, the people that want to talk about price. Of course it's going to cost a little more to have somebody cut it for you and make sure you've got the best meat possible. Of course it's going to cost more to have someone do it by hand than to have a machine do it, obviously. But don't you feel a lot better knowing you're getting quality instead of quantity?
It's like people come up to you and say, like if somebody asked me to cut a specific type of meat, okay, if they went to a machine and typed in however big they want, they're like, well, no. See, the way we do it is like if they say I want an inch New York strip. I want like 3-inch cut New York strips.
Mm-hmm.
We'll cut the first steak. We will look at you. We will walk the steak to you.
Yeah.
Ask you if this is the thickness you want. If this looks good. If you like it, we'll cut 2 more that way. If you don't, we'll adjust. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Yeah. And that way the customer's getting exactly what they want.
Exactly.
But in my situation, like, I love marketing. If I wanted to go work at a business in marketing, I couldn't walk in there, get a job interview, and get the job because I don't have experience in it. But yet I went to college to specifically train me to do that job. That's kind of weird. But
Yeah.
I can promise if it was the 90s, back whenever we were, children.
Dude, I wouldn't even
And-
have to have a college degree. I bet I could get a job.
Yeah. It's just how it is. I mean, you'd probably still have to have a college degree, but
I don't know.
you wouldn't have to have 2 years prior experience in that job to be able to get that job.
See, the thing is now, what I always think is kind of funny is a lot of people go to college, which is great. I mean, we need doctors, Some stuff I don't feel like it's necessary to have a job or go to college degree. Like, I don't feel like it's necessary. But, like, I mean, a teacher, we need those. Yes, you need to go to school for that. Doctors, lawyers, all that stuff. You need to go to school for that. But what's funny to me is a lot of people that go to college spend years without being able to find a job.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to college, and I just went somewhere.
And you've had a job for ages
Since high
now.
school.
Yeah, since high school.
I've
And
worked at the same place since high school. Junior year of high school, so I've been there 7 years.
Yeah.
now.
And you make great money. Just
So,
one of
yeah, I
those
wouldn't say
things.
great, but for where we live, it's pretty good.
If you're making above minimum wage, you're doing fine. And you make well above minimum wage.
I do make well above minimum.
Okay, so you make good money.
Dude, minimum wage, you can't live off minimum wage
No.
anywhere. I don't care where you're at. I even heard like in New York, minimum wage is supposed to go up to like $10.50 or something.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no way in hell. You ain't gonna live up there, man. New York is so freaking expensive.
I know they actually did this thing where they were, it was somewhere, somebody did a study and they posted it and they showed that you can live off of minimum wage. And sure, you might be able to get by with dead last essentials,
No, you wouldn't be able to pay rent. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
in New York, like $10.51 an hour or $10.50 an hour or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no way in hell. Cause my sister has an apartment up there. She lives with a boyfriend. They split the rent. It's 1 bedroom, a living room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. It's like small. It's smaller than your basement, and it's like $900 a month.
You're kidding.
Nope.
Is it at least nice interior and stuff
I
like
mean,
that?
it's a decent interior.
Okay, so
They have
it's...
central heating, no AC.
Oh, I see.
They have to have window AC.
Well,
But that's common up there.
Yeah, that's common, though, to have, like,
It's
everybody
not
has window
necessarily.
ACs.
It's because a lot of apartments up there are old buildings and they can't put AC in.
Right. My dad was talking about when he lived in Chicago, they would take fans. It wasn't even window ACs, because this was back in, like, the 70s and 80s. Windows ACs weren't really a thing, I don't guess. But
I don't know.
I think they were, but they were kind of an expensive type thing, so a lot of
Probably.
people wouldn't have them. But what was a affordable thing was it was like a box fan that you put in the window, and you would put this box fan in the window like you would in a window AC.
I know what the box fans are.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of them.
And my dad had been putting it in the window and having it blow into his apartment in Chicago, because ACs weren't a thing. Some old guy he lived next to in his apartment used to come over to Dad's apartment and hang out with him. Fun fact, I have 2 parakeets. For the people listening right now, I have 2 parakeets. Back in the day, whenever my dad was my age living in Chicago, he had parakeets as well. He was a bird lover, just the same as me. So that's kind of cool. But anyways, this old guy came in and he's talking to my dad about the air conditioning situation and stuff. And he told my dad, if you took that fan and turned it around where it would pull air out instead of blow air in, it'd be a lot cooler. So my dad tried it, and as soon as he tried it, he said that he went into his room like that night to go to bed, and it was so cold he could see his breath.
Huh.
It was just I guess because of ventilation, and he said you have to crack your door to the area So, like, your bedroom is isolated from the rest of the place, and your door is normally closed, and you have your fan facing out the window, pulling air out. But if you crack your door a little bit, the way that it works is the air being pulled through that small crack acts as like the faster wind moves, the cooler it would be.
Yeah.
So being pulled through that crack in the door would cool it as it pulled out. And he said that at night it got so cold he could see his breath sometimes. Crazy stuff. But technology, yeah. There is one thing I want to mention. Do you remember back when we were kids, there were these phones that were clear, and they had all sorts of gears and stuff in them. You remember what I'm talking about? They were like clear, and it was like phones, like legit phones that were on, like the house,
freaking corded ones?
The house phones with the cords on them that you'd put on like the rocker
and
or whatever.
Like all the girls, like you would always see, like back when we were kids, we'd always watch movies, and like all the girls in the movies would have them.
Yeah, I used to have one of those, and I don't know if I still
and
have it or
like
not.
you were
But
the bee's knees if you had a freaking phone in your room.
yeah, you were the bee's knees if you had a phone.
And bee's knees was big back then too.
Yeah, you said bee's knees. There was what was another one that we said all the time?
I don't know. It's been so damn long.
Jeepers. I remember Jeepers being a thing.
I feel like that's because I think it's on Scooby Doo.
No, Jinkies. Scooby Doo is Jinkies, but Jeepers was a totally different thing.
I mean, it was just stupid stuff. Some of the phrases we'd say were just dumb, which here in about 20 years, people are going to be like, some of the crap that they said back in 2017 was dumb too. So,
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, it's like you got to think, like some of the like hip dance moves and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the future, they're gonna be like, "What the
What
hell?"
What you think now? We look back and see videos of like people in the 1920s dancing to music, and we're like, "What the hell are they doing?"
Yeah.
But it'll be the same thing for us. I mean, people already do that now. People look back at the 90s, and are like, "What the hell?"
Oh yeah, like what we dressed like.
I love 90s fashion. I loved it.
No, when you're a kid, you don't.
No, when you're a kid,
When you look at your kid, like when you look at yourself as a kid, you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like you look at yourself when you're a kid and you're like, God, I hate this clothing. But now when you're an adult and you look back at 90s fashion, you're like, that was actually pretty dope. Let's go. Dope was a thing back then. I remember like people saying that's dope.
I think that's more of an early 2000s thing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But, you've got, like you said, people that was born in 2000, working with you and stuff in high school. They look back at our fashion and our toys and our tech and stuff, and they're like, man, that's awful.
Pretty outdated, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awful. And we're just
when
like,
I was growing up, that's the hottest shit on the market.
yeah,
right there,
I mean, still, like, me and you literally just talked about going to buy Game Boys because we want them.
Dude, I'd love to have a Game Boy.
Dude.
That worked.
Yeah, we need to go do it.
I'm just happy double A's are still a thing. Like, that's...
Right, because they take double A's.
Yeah.
And thank God they have rechargeable double A's now. You don't have to keep...
you don't need that shit.
No.
The rechargeable batteries are garbage. I don't care. Now, in like a phone or like a camera, if it's like a rechargeable battery, yeah, it's solid.
No one ever gets the rechargeable batteries. I mean, they're handy sometimes, but...
But yeah, like... phone battery, like lithium batteries and stuff like that, they're good.
Yeah.
But double A's, those are garbage. You don't want a rechargeable double A battery.
I mean, you can get lithium double A's that are, I mean, they're expensive, but they last forever.
Are they rechargeable?
Yeah.
Still ain't worth it. Dude, you might as well just buy double A's. They aren't that expensive.
I mean, we have a charger for batteries.
You don't need that garbage.
Don't need that garbage. No.
You don't need it. Dude, back in the 90s, we didn't know what rechargeable batteries were.
They weren't a thing back then. Well,
dude,
I mean, they were,
my grandmother
but
has
they
a
were.
video recorder. A video recorder from the 90s.
I think...
That played VHSs.
A camcorder.
No.
You talking about
This
like a
shit
camcorder?
was like... It was like I had a screen, and it was like the coolest shit ever because it was a flat screen. And the thing rotated like this. Like the camera was on the side, and it rotated like this. So if you want to look at yourself, you'd rotate the camera, and boom.
Huh.
Yeah, and if you wanted to look at somewhere else, you'd rotate it, and you'd hold it like this, and it was like you would hold it flat in front of you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I was thinking,
I got
don't
you.
see me.
Yeah.
But you would hold it like horizontally in front of you. So the camera, I want to say it was on the right side, and you would rotate the camera vertically, and the camera would be upside down when it pointed at you for like a selfie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd have it, and it would be at the bottom. But then when you faced it at somebody else, it'd be at the top. And it was like it wasn't quite a camcorder because camcorders came out after this.
Yeah.
Because it's the one-handed camcorder that flipped out, you know. This one literally recorded VHS tapes. Like you had to have a specific VHS. It was a VHS size. And
It was a
like,
smaller one, wasn't it?
It was you had to put it in the VHS is what I'm saying to play it. And it was like maybe half the size. And you would flip up a VHS tape and pop it in there and put it down, and it was friggin' awesome. I thought that was the coolest shit ever.
We have a camcorder from the 90s that you pop a legit blank VHS in, and you can record.
I don't even know if that was from the 90s. That might have been earlier than that. That may have been 80s.
And I remember playing with it, and I lost the battery to it, and I can't find a battery to it, and you can't find a battery for it anymore, so it's pretty much useless now. If I could find a battery for it and a charger, dude, I would record with it. No shit, because I don't know, there's something beautiful about VHS.
Well, hold on.
Okay, yeah,
for the viewers right now that are watching that have no idea what a VHS tape is,
don't even explain. They don't need to know. If they don't know, they don't need to know. They can look it up. I'm serious.
What?
I'm serious. Let them look it up. If they don't know what VHS is,
they won't. Like, some of these kids are like, some of these kids, people that are watching this, probably born in 2005. They don't know what this crap is.
Go ahead and tell them.
Well, it was a box. All right. So you know how like Blu-rays, every time you pop it in. Like now, if you pop it in a PS4, it knows exactly where it was when you did it. We didn't have that garbage. We had a thing. If you wanted to pause it, you could pause it. But when you rewound it, okay, you had to rewind a VHS tape. Okay, it was this little box that had tape. Like, literally, it looked like tape. It was like black.
It was a plastic casing that on the inside had...
It had two spindles.
Yeah, 2 spindles with tape.
Yeah, it was like it wasn't really tape. It was... I don't exactly know.
It's film.
It's film, yeah.
Yeah, it's legit film.
So when you wanted to rewind this shit, one of 2 things had to happen. One of 3 things had to happen because you could hand do it too.
Yeah.
That took like an hour. You could either do that, you would pop it into the VHS player, you had to watch it in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could always like hit stop and rewind, and you would just look at a blue screen for like 5 minutes for it to rewind.
Mm-hmm.
Or you bought a rewinder that rewound one at a time, and you popped it in and you slammed it down every time.
And that if you had a rewinder, like,
you were like top of the line. You were high dollar.
You were some hot shit if you had a rewinder.
We had one.
But
that was awful.
My dad actually came up with another way to rewind them. You take a pencil and you wrap tape around it, like the eraser side of it. You take a pencil and wrap tape around it and level it up where it'll fit perfectly in that little slot. You know what I'm talking about on the VHS? Yeah. And whenever it fit perfectly and actually grabbed it, you got the pencil and stuck it in a drill and put it in reverse and put it on there and went and rewound it with the drill.
I guess you'd have to watch that though, because if you did too hard, it would break.
But film... I would love to edit and work with film, because to edit and work with film, you have to
cut a piece out.
You have to have a transparent, flat top table with the light underneath shining through, and you work with a magnifying glass over top so you can see the individual frames on the film. And you would look at it, and you can see the picture on the film through the transparent glass because the light's shining through it. And you would look at it, and wherever you needed to cut, you would take a razor, and you would cut it, and then you would move it, cut out the pieces you want, put them together, and tape it. Literally take Scotch tape and tape it.
I didn't know it was Scotch tape back then. It was the same thing, but I don't even know if it was named Scotch tape.
I'm pretty sure it was. But anyways, this was
45 minutes of random conversations about our old...
It was mostly about the 90s instead of... You know what? We need to have a multi-part series where we talk about the 90s, because the 90s itself was... I don't know. We may come out with part 2 and part 3 of the 90s. I know we said this was technology, but we may just call it the 90s.
Well, you could do tech in the 90s.
Yeah, tech
for part 1.
Well, part 1 would be the 90s tech, and then part 2 will be...
Well, we started out with iPhones and Mac, and that was like 10 minutes of that.
Yeah, it's true.
10, 15 minutes of that.
Whatever. Whatever.
Who cares?
Don't matter.
But yeah, like, I mean, there's going to be people that watch that know the 90s, but there's going to be people now that are so young that they have no idea what we did in the 90s.
And if they're so young that they don't know what that is, are they really old enough to be watching this anyways?
Yeah, because in 2005, they were like 13.
I was joking.
I was about to say, dude, because one of my bud's kids were born in 2003. They're 14.
Damn. That's crazy.
I feel old.
Dude, you and me both are old.
We're not old. We're 23.
Huh?
You're not. Yeah, we're 23.
Yeah.
We're both 23. We're not old. Well, I like to say we're old. I feel like I'm old. My body hurts all the time.
we
Man, back
physically.
what we did when we were kids, I would not do now like that.
Man, when we were kids, we could literally go out and constantly be physically active for 12 hours straight and still not be tired. Now, if we were constantly physically active for 12 hours straight,
bodies, but...
well, yeah. But if we were constantly physically active for 12 hours straight, we would just pass out. It's like, I'm done. See ya. Boom.
No, dude, if I have to work longer than an 8-hour shift at work, I'm like, Jesus. I mean, I work 5 8-hour shifts. I know there's people that work like 4 12s, but screw that.
Well, I know it was a long episode. If you're watching, thank you so much. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you want. Hit the bell notification if you like.
If you're younger than the 90s, leave a comment on something you would like to know about the 90s.
Younger than 90s?
Yeah, if you were born in 2000 or higher.
Oh, so you're saying if they're younger than...
If you are younger than the age of 18 years old, pretty much.
I guess, yeah. Because that would be...
1999, you'd be born
Generation Y, wouldn't it? Whatever generation it may be.
Whatever Generation Y, technically.
Well, Generation Y, Generation Millennials, whatever. Millennial generation.
But,
whatever.
If you were born in 2000 or later, and you want to know about the 90s, comment, and if we remember it, we'll tell you about it.
Yeah, most likely we remember it. But if you do want to know something specific...
If he don't, I definitely will. For some reason, I remember like everything.
Me and you both, if you don't know it, I know it. If I don't know it, you know it. It's one of those things. But yeah, just leave a comment and ask us stuff if you have questions about it. And we'll answer them. Because we're going to be doing multiple parts to this. This is fun. I like talking about the 90s.
It was nuts. I still can't believe I remembered that the exact name of them scanners.
Yeah,
that
real.
blows my mind. The exact. I mean, that wasn't even it. I was like the scanners.
I haven't even thought about them in decades. In a decade,
it
I'm
just
serious.
popped in my head when we were talking about Digimon stuff.
A decade's 12 years, right?
No.
What's a decade?
Decade's 10 years.
Oh, okay, yeah. I haven't thought about them in a decade, and
a score's like 24 years.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, we hope you enjoyed the episode.
Oh yeah. I hope you did too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, well, we're going to end the episode here. We will see you in the next episode. See ya.
Man, the 90s were so great.
Dude, let's just go back.
I wish. I wonder if somebody's built a time machine yet.
We need to find them. Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, and we'll see you in the next episode. See ya!